The multivitamin you take every morning was tested on almost 400,000 people for 27 years, and it did not help a single one of them live longer. The vitamin sold to protect your heart? In one huge trial, it raised prostate cancer. And the hair vitamin in your cabinet once helped hide a heart attack from the emergency room. I'm the judge on health on trial. I read the boring studies so you don't have to. Today, 20 supplements take the stand. Most of them do nothing. A handful genuinely work. And a couple could quietly hurt you. Let's find out which. Here is the docket. Multivitamins, creatine, vitamin C, greens powders, zinc, collagen, glucosamine, fish oil, psyllium, turmeric, vitamin E, magnesium, beta-alanine, CoQ10, electrolytes, probiotics, vitamin D, ashwagandha, melatonin, and biotin. 20 supplements, 20 verdicts, real evidence, zero hype. Court is in session. Case 1. The Daily Multivitamin. The charge: selling billions in health insurance that prevents nothing. Here is the study that should end the debate. Researchers followed almost 390,000 healthy adults for 27 years. The result? Daily users had no lower risk of dying. Not from cancer, not from heart disease, nothing. And even a small signal of slightly higher early death. Even the medical journals gave up. One famous editorial was titled, "Word for Word, Stop Wasting Money on Vitamin and Mineral Supplements." Verdict: waste for well-fed people. They do have real uses: pregnancy, a diagnosed deficiency, strict vegans. But if you eat a normal diet, you are buying insurance against a risk you do not have. But the next defendant is the rare one that actually works. Case 2. Creatine. And right away, a plot twist. This one actually works. Creatine is probably the most proven supplement on the planet. Combined with lifting, it delivers 5 to 15% bigger strength gains than training alone by topping up the fuel your muscles burn in the first few seconds of hard effort. Most people gain a couple pounds of lean muscle in a few weeks. It is cheap, safe, and studied for decades. The honest catch: the new hype that it fixes your brain and mood is way ahead of the evidence. Verdict: it works for muscle and strength. Take 3 to 5 grams a day of plain monohydrate, skip the fancy versions, and buy it for the gym, not the brain. Case 3 is a vitamin a Nobel laureate got famously wrong. Case 3. Vitamin C for colds. A Nobel laureate convinced the world it stops them. It does not. When researchers pooled the trials, taking vitamin C every day did not prevent colds at all. None. It might shave a few hours off one you already have, barely worth noticing. There is one narrow exception. People under extreme physical stress, marathon runners, soldiers in the cold, cut their cold risk roughly in half. For everyone else, popping vitamin C at the first sniffle does essentially nothing, and megadoses just give you an expensive stomachache. Verdict: misleading. Get it from food and stop treating it as cold armor. Case 4 sold you the same empty promise for $100 a month. Case 4. Greens powders. The green scoop that promises to cover all your nutritional bases for about $100 a month. Here is the problem. There is not one independent trial showing the flagship 75-ingredient formula improves any health outcome. The single flattering study was funded by the company, and much of the powder hides inside proprietary blends, so you cannot even see the doses. Meanwhile, you pay $2 to $3 a scoop for vitamins your diet already covers, minus the fiber real vegetables would give you. Verdict: waste for most people. If your diet is genuinely poor, it is a floor. But for anyone eating vegetables, it is a $100 habit that mostly makes very expensive urine. Case 5 is one everyone pops at the first sniffle, and this time they are half right. Case 5. Zinc for colds. And here is a rare win, but only if you use it exactly right. High-dose zinc lozenges, the kind you suck, started within the first day of symptoms, genuinely cut a cold short by about a third, roughly a day or two. That is real, but almost everyone uses it wrong. Swallowed zinc pills do nothing for a cold. Low-dose lozenges do nothing. And a daily zinc pill all winter does not prevent colds at all. Plus too much long-term blocks, copper, and backfires. Verdict: works in one narrow way. A high-dose lozenge at the very first sign of a cold for a few days only. Not a daily habit. Case 6 has a plausible story and a mountain of studies, and it still falls apart. Case 6. Collagen powder. The charge: younger skin in a scoop. To be fair, it is not obvious nonsense. Your gut breaks it into peptides, and some get absorbed. A review of 23 trials showed skin improvement on the surface. But then researchers sorted those trials by who funded them, and the benefit lived almost entirely in studies paid for by collagen companies. Strip those out, and it mostly vanishes. What actually keeps skin young is dull and free. Sunscreen, not smoking, and ordinary protein plus vitamin C, which is all your body needs to build its own collagen. Verdict: misleading. Safe, just very expensive protein wearing a lab coat. Case 7 is the joint pill that half the people over 50 are quietly taking. Case 7. Glucosamine and chondroitin for aching joints. It is one of the best-selling supplements on Earth. The problem: in the biggest, most rigorous trial, the government-funded GAIT study, it worked no better than a sugar pill. About 60% of people felt better, but the placebo group did just as well. The pain relief people swear by is mostly the placebo effect doing its job. That is why the American College of Rheumatology now strongly recommends against it for knee and hip arthritis. Verdict: waste. It is safe, and if you genuinely feel better, the placebo is free to enjoy, but do not expect it to rebuild cartilage. Case 8 is your heart doctor's favorite pill to quietly walk back. Case 8. Fish oil pills, sold as heart protection in a capsule. But the two biggest heart trials ever run, Vital and Ascend, gave thousands of people fish oil or a dummy pill for years, and for preventing heart attacks and strokes in healthy people, they found basically nothing. Omega-3 still matters, but the source does the work. People who eat actual fatty fish, salmon, sardines, have healthier hearts. The pill is not the same. And here is the catch nobody mentions. Fish oil goes rancid, and when labs test supplements, a real chunk are oxidized past the limit, so you may be swallowing spoiled oil. Verdict: misleading. Eat the fish instead. Case 9 is the most boring supplement here, and the only one the government actually endorses. Case 9. Psyllium fiber. The unglamorous tub of fiber powder in the back of the cabinet. And here's the surprise. It is the one supplement in this whole trial with an official government stamp of approval. The FDA authorized a health claim that 7 grams a day of psyllium lowers your risk of heart disease. It genuinely lowers bad cholesterol, steadies blood sugar, and, yes, keeps you regular. Most people eat nowhere near enough fiber, and this closes the gap. Verdict: it works, and it is dirt cheap. Stir a spoonful into water, work up slowly so you do not bloat, and drink plenty of water. The boring underdog wins this one. Case 10 is a golden spice with one real trick and a lot of hype. Case 10. Turmeric, or really its compound curcumin. Sold as a natural anti-inflammatory cure-all. Here is the honest picture. For one specific thing, knee arthritis pain, the evidence is real. Several trials found turmeric extract eased pain about as well as common painkillers. But for the grand cure everything claims, it falls apart. Curcumin barely absorbs, which is why they add black pepper, and chemists formally class it as a notorious molecule that looks active in a test tube but rarely holds up. Worse, poorly absorbed turmeric supplements have been linked to a growing list of liver injury cases. Verdict: misleading. Worth a try for creaky knees, useless as a daily inflammation cure, and skip it if you have liver trouble. Case 11 is the vitamin that was supposed to save your heart and did the opposite. Case 11. Vitamin E. For years, it was the antioxidant that would protect your heart and prevent cancer. Then the big trials came in, and the results were genuinely alarming. In a study of 35,000 men, 400 units a day of vitamin E raised prostate cancer risk by about 17%. And a review of high-dose trials found that 400 units or more a day was linked to a higher risk of dying from any cause. The supposed protector was quietly doing harm. Verdict: waste, and at high doses, worse than waste. You get all the vitamin E you need from nuts, seeds, and oils. Put the high-dose bottle down. Case 12 will not fix the thing you actually bought it for. Case 12. Magnesium. The charge: promising to fix everything from leg cramps to sleep. To be fair, magnesium is a genuinely important mineral, used in over 300 reactions, and many of us fall a little short. The evidence really does back two things. It modestly lowers blood pressure and helps prevent migraines. But the number one reason people buy it? Leg cramps? A Cochrane review, the gold standard, found it basically does not work for ordinary cramps. The sleep and anxiety claims are thin too. Verdict: misleading. Worth getting enough of, mostly from food, nuts, seeds, greens, and beans, but not the cure-all the bottle implies. Case 13 is the pre-workout that makes you tingle, and the tingle is theater. Case 13. Beta-alanine, the tingle in your pre-workout. That prickly skin rush makes it feel powerful, and that part is pure theater, just a harmless nerve tickle. But the ingredient underneath actually works, for one narrow thing. Taken daily for weeks, it raises a compound in your muscle called carnosine by 40 to 60%, which buffers the burn in all-out efforts lasting 1 to 4 minutes. Think a hard set, a sprint, a rowing piece. Verdict: it works, narrowly. If you train in that high-intensity window, it is legit, about 3 to 6 grams a day, every day, not just before a workout. The tingle is not the benefit. Case 14 is the pill your heart doctor keeps getting asked about. Case 14. CoQ10. Marketed to fix the muscle aches, some people get on statin cholesterol drugs and to boost energy and the heart. Here is the reality. The NIH concluded the evidence does not support taking it for statin muscle pain. And a clever trial called Samson found something wild. About 90% of the muscle pain people blamed on statins showed up just as much on a dummy pill. The pain is largely the nocebo effect, your brain expecting harm. So a supplement aimed at that pain is chasing a ghost. Verdict: misleading. It is safe, but for the average person, it isn't expensive maybe. Case 15 is the one you have been told to sip all day long. Case 15. The Electrolyte packet. The charge: convincing healthy people they are chronically dehydrated and desperate for salt. On a normal day, sitting, working, light activity, that is just not true. Your body handles electrolytes fine on its own. And here is what the ads skip. One serving of a popular mix can carry 1,000 milligrams of sodium, almost half your daily limit, in a single glass, and most people already eat too much salt. They earn their keep in a narrow lane. Intense exercise over an hour, heavy sweating, real heat, or genuine illness. Verdict: waste for daily use. On a normal day, just drink water. Case 16 is the daily capsule your gut never actually asked for. Case 16. Probiotics. The daily gut health capsule everyone is told they need. Here is the reality. The big gastroenterology guideline reviewed the evidence and backed probiotics for only a few narrow medical situations, like preventing a specific infection while on antibiotics. For a healthy person with a normal gut, there is no good evidence a daily probiotic does anything, and controlled studies show it does not meaningfully change your gut bacteria. Even the one real benefit mostly shows up in high-risk hospital patients, not you. Verdict: misleading. Harmless, but for most people, money down the drain. Feed the gut bugs you already have with fiber and fermented foods instead. Case 17 genuinely works, but almost certainly not for you. Case 17, vitamin D. And this one genuinely works for the right person. If you are actually deficient, and many people with little sun are, correcting it matters for your bones and muscles. That part is real, but two catches. First, for people who already have enough, piling on more adds nothing. The big trials found extra vitamin D did not cut heart disease or cancer in people who were not low. Second, it is fat soluble, so it builds up, and megadosing from the bottle can push you into toxicity, kidney stones, and all. Verdict: works if you are low, pointless, or risky if you are not. So do not guess, get a blood test, and supplement to fix an actual deficiency. Case 18 is a trendy natural pill with a danger the label never prints. Case 18. Ashwagandha. The adaptogen sold for stress, sleep, and testosterone. There is a small, real signal. A standardized extract over about 8 weeks does seem to lower stress hormones and modestly improve sleep for some people. The testosterone claims are weak. But here is what the wellness posts leave out. The government's own liver database rates ashwagandha a likely cause of real liver injury, with documented cases of jaundice, liver failure, even deaths, mostly in people with existing liver problems. Verdict: misleading, with a warning. A short, standardized course for stress is not crazy, but avoid it entirely with any liver condition, heavy drinking, or pregnancy, and stop if you feel unwell. Case 19 is the sleep gummy you are almost certainly overdosing. Case 19. Melatonin. The natural sleep gummy people treat like a knockout pill. First, it is not a sedative. It is a timing hormone, and in studies, it helps you fall asleep only about 7 minutes faster. Where it genuinely works is resetting your body clock, jet lag, shift work, a delayed schedule. But two problems. Most people massively overdose it. As little as a third of a milligram works, yet typical gummies pack 5 or 10, and the products are a mess. When researchers tested melatonin gummies, the vast majority were mislabeled, some with triple the dose, and one with none at all. Verdict: misleading. Real for jet lag at a tiny dose, oversold as a nightly sleeping pill. Use half a milligram, buy a verified brand, and fix your light and schedule first. And now, Case 20, the innocent hair vitamin that once helped hide a heart attack. Case 20. Biotin, the hair, skin, and nails vitamin. The charge: selling thicker hair to people who are never lacking it. Here is the truth. Biotin only helps hair and nails if you are actually deficient, and real deficiency is rare. In healthy people, there is no proof it does anything for your hair. You need about 30 micrograms a day. These pills pack up to 20 milligrams, over 600 times that. And here is the genuinely dangerous part. High-dose biotin scrambles common blood tests. It can make the blood marker for a heart attack read falsely normal, and the FDA received a report of a patient who died after exactly that masked a heart attack in the emergency room. Verdict: waste and quietly risky. Skip it if your diet is normal, and stop it a few days before any blood work. That is the whole docket. That's the verdict. 20 supplements. A handful worth your money, most of them worth skipping, and a couple worth avoiding. Now you decide the next trial. Drop a supplement or a food in the comments, the one you are most suspicious of, or the one you swear by, and I'll put the top request on the stand. Real evidence, zero hype, A new verdict every week. Subscribe, and I'll see you in court.